Hey, 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 it is your girl, Miss Clover with Clover Creations Cosmetics, and I'm going to show you how I got into this beat 30 minutes or less. So here I am with a clean canvas for my face. It has been washed and prepped with prebiotic moisturizing cream and a hydrating facial oil. Okay, because that is very important. This is a dash out the door look, something I'm going to do really quick. So hang on while we get through this and get out the door. So what I am doing now is applying some wax gel on my eyebrows so that I can shape them, get them to the shape, my desired shape for the day. And they could change. This gel allows you to really change up your eyebrows however you like. So I am just smoothing them out really good with my spoolie. And then I am going to go in with my translucent powder. And then I'm going to dry them down. Now, normally I can dry these down naturally and just let them air dry. But because we're doing a dash out the door, we want to dry those down rather quickly. So this is where the translucent powder comes into place. I am going to shape them up a little bit more now that they are dried down with a more matted look. This helps for your brow pencil to glide over your eyebrows very easily. So this brown pencil is more of a sienna brown, close to my eyebrows. And I'm just taking it to draw it out, going under the eyebrow line. And then I will do the other side, try to get them as evenly as possible. But keep in mind that most times the eyebrows are sisters, sometimes cousins. We would love for them to be twins, okay? But when they do not start out looking like they're twins, that is where the concealer will come into place, and we can correct whatever we need to correct. So I'm just taking this, carving out the outline in the top and the bottom. I'm doing a little bit of a rush job. So normally this would be a little bit more with precision. But again, we're going to clean this up very quickly because the goal is to be out of the door in less than 30 minutes, right? So what I like to do is do a little bit of a mapping just to make sure I have them even. I take the pencil down the center of the nose, the nostrils, to make sure that they line up there. Put in an inner corner of the nostril and then the outer corner of the nostril, and make sure that it meets where it needs to meet on both sides. So this definitely helps if you're a beginner, to make sure you have your mapping under control to even them out. So I am going to use a little bit of a quicker technique than I normally would. Normally I would use a lighter concealer underneath the eyebrow bone so that I could give a little highlight, little definition. But I am going to use the same foundation as for my face. I'm going to use this to carve out the eyebrows. It's just a more natural look. I don't have to spend time trying to fade and shade. It's just I want to get this concealer on just to carve them out, and then we can move right along. So this is definitely a little quicker technique that I would recommend if you're kind of in a rush, okay, and you want to get at the door quickly. So I am doing what I did to the other eye just by taking a flat concealer brush. These brushes are by Slave Ready Cosmetics. I love her brush line. But have no fear, because Miss Clover is coming out with Clover Creations Cosmetics. So stay tuned for that, and I will have my own brush line. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, so now what I like to do is take a my drying brush, and again, this is what it has: concealer translucent setting powder. And I'm using this to dry down that concealer. You will find throughout this is wherever you put concealer, you definitely want to dry it down, all right, so that it stays in place and it locks what you did in place. So I'm just going over the eyebrows just a little bit more because I needed to darken this one up because I kind of touched it with some of my concealer during that process. So right now I am getting ready to put on the Mary Kay primer, foundation primer. I love this primer. It's very lightweight. It really gets tacky enough so that it'll allow your makeup to adhere to your skin during the application process. I'm using a flat Slay Ready cosmetic brush just to apply that. You can apply this with your hand, but I always like to use like a wet sponge or a powder puff or a makeup brush just to evenly distribute it across my face and without touching my face with my hands. Okay, we have a clean canvas. We don't want to mess it up. So the quick way to dry this down would be to use a fan. Normally I let this naturally dry down. I'll work on my eyes, but because we're doing a dash out the door glam, we're going to dry that down rather quickly. So always have you a nice little hand fan. My ghetto fan is big. I don't care, but it gets the job done. Okay, so I'm just using some of my same brushes that I used last night, but I do clean them between applications just to get any powder off the brush. And I use a little cleaning brush sponge. You can get this from pretty much like any beauty supply store. But again, it came from Slay Ready Cosmetics because I just love her line. Go P go. Right now I am actually applying some blush. This blush is so a bronzer actually, not a blush. But it's so pigmented. Like this same bronzer that I use to contour my face, I use it for a transition palette for my eyes. You want to put on a little lighter transition color first, and then you can go with the outer corners of your eyes to just stamp on some darker color on the outer side. That'll just give it a little bit more definition as we use that to blend into our inner lid for the eye. So I'm doing that on both sides, where just stamping on some darker eyeshadow. And I love this palette by Morphe. It's a Morphe, I think it's a Morphe 35X palette. No, I could be wrong, but I'll definitely let you know exactly which palette this is, but I absolutely love it. I'm taking a little flatter eyeshadow brush, and I think I'm going to go with this blush sparkle type pink hue. Just something that would be nicely, it's light, it gives a soft glam, not too much, and it'd be something that I can blend together just to give a little soft glam look. Nothing too over the top. I'm not doing any cut creases. I'm just literally applying this to make sure we get out the door within 30 minutes or less is the goal. I think I made that goal and I'm very proud of myself for that. But when you have something to do, and I could play in makeup all day, but when I want to like really, I have things to do, then you just got to go quickly. So all I'm doing right now is just taking a little bit more of that brown and blending that into that blush shimmer that I put on my inner corner of my eye. So that the eyes are like pretty much done. We're going to go ahead and create a nice little wing. Now a wing liner, you can put the wing liner right on top of your lid and don't create such a wing on the outer corner, or you can. For me, I'm creating that wing on the outer corner to give me a little bit more of a cat eye type of look. And I love it. I love this liquid liner. I actually got this from some off-brand store. Normally I would use ELF or Sephora, but I'm trying out this new cosmetic line. So I decided to go with this. Now here in this moment, I noticed that this wing was a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be, versus the other, and it's a little bit higher. But have no fear, you see. So I'm gonna extend that wing out some more. However, during our cleanup process, you will see later on where I'm going to clean that up and lift one of those. And that is the power of using the concealer. The concealer will always carve out whatever we need to carve out to make it right. I always say just detach from the outcome and trust the process. Right now I'm using some mascara. This mascara, I absolutely love it. It's by Essence, and it really gives volume and it lifts my lashes. For this look, I'm not putting on any falsies. I decided just to go with some plain mascara that has volume and bring those lashes out a little bit. So, and that, saves a lot more time. Right now I'm using some foundation by Makeup Revolution, the IRL filter. You see in this that one swipe, the coverage that it gives. It's good to have a nice full foundation, full coverage foundation. That way it only takes a little bit. It feels like your skin. You don't have to cake it on a lot of different layers if you have a really good foundation that really has full coverage. So if you notice, I did not take the time to carve out the top of my eyebrows. And the reason why is because I used the same foundation on my on my lids as my canvas. So I didn't need to carve out anything. If I really wanted to make them more bold and stand out more, I could have, went and carved them out with that concealer, but there's no need to do that when you're going for like a soft glam look. I am going to take this concealer and do a little highlighting underneath my eyes, down the nose of my bridge, above my cupid's bow, my chin, and my forehead. Okay, so I will let that dry down. I always like to go like a shade or two lighter than my shade color complexion. And then that way it can give a nice little highlight. And I like to call that, or as we know it, as the filter effect. Right now, this is a reverse contouring. I'm taking that same bronzer that I used on my eyes for the transition color in the beginning. And I'm doing like a little backwards E, if you will. Could look like a 3 depending on which angle you're looking at this from. However, basically just starting at the forehead, coming down by the eyes onto the cheek, coming back out, and then going under the cheekbone. That way it just creates some shadows, and it gives a nice little lift to the face and the jawline and the cheekbone. So this is a nice little tip and a technique to really quickly go ahead and do a nice little contour. So I'm going to go in and give some more definition to the cheekbone by using this bronzer by Fenty, and it's in the shade Mocha Mommy. Just a little bit. I'm not going all crazy with it, but just a little tad. What I'm using, this technique is just kind of doing a little soft carving out of the nose. And I did that by putting some of that bronzer on the nose, which is, then we'll, I've already put the highlighter underneath it, so you don't have to spend that much time. I'm taking a flat concealer brush, and I am going where that concealer has dried down and on my T-zones where I wanted the highlights. We are blending that out. Now, normally I would take a little bit more time blending this out, but again, I'm trying to dash out the door, right? So, but the setting spray will make that all come together. This highlighter that I'm using is by ELF as well. I absolutely love it. I love the coverage that it gives, and it's not as cakey. So I'm using that just under the eye, but this is where I am dragging that under that wing just to give it a little bit more correction and lift to it. Okay? So when applying makeup, it is so important that, like when you're creating that lift, continue to do your swoops up. The only thing that should be applied in a downward motion would be the foundation for the most part and your moisturizers and primers. But when it comes to like your concealer, you want to definitely drag that upward. It lifts the face and it creates a little bit more of a youthful look. So we're blending that out very well, and have no fear where I went over my bronzer. Don't worry, it's just creating that canvas. It is important to, wherever you put concealer, you want to dry that down with some translucent powder. This is a setting powder. I'm just setting that concealer in place so that it does not crease throughout my day. Look how smooth, and it just smooths everything out. Like, I just absolutely love it. I wish you could hear the music in the background. When I'm doing my makeup, it's like spiritual and therapeutic for me. So I was listening to some gospel music and just praising and worshiping. And it was just amazing. It was an amazing, beautiful day. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of the door quick. But let's do it. I'm taking some of that setting powder, and right underneath the jawline, I am just carving out that a little bit, not too much. I'm not baking, meaning letting my powder sit there. I'm literally just pressing it into my skin and blushing it away. This palette is by Miss Reese. I love this blush palette because it has blush and sparkles in it for highlighters, and I'm just putting that on my cheek. Remember, we took a little color from the top. I'm just adding some color back. And once you do that on top of your highlights, it makes magic. Of course, we want to go ahead and set everything that we just applied because you want the makeup to last. I'm going to work. I'm going to be at work sweating. It's like an 8-hour day, and I want to make sure that that makeup stays in place all day and night, and it does. And that's what I love about it. So just concealing, highlighting, contouring, and setting everything in place. I am using my fan again because, again, I just needed to dry down very quickly. While it's drying down, I am cleaning up my table. So you can multitask and make some things happen. That way I got everything put away, and while that's drying down. So you can make use of your time. When, look at me, I'm singing, I'm praising, I'm like having this like, yes, God. But make use of your time in the process. I'm going in with a blue pencil under my bottom lash line because I just want to add a little bit more pop of color. I would have went with green because I love green, but I decided to go with the blue. I feel like that blue would match that blush, that pink a little bit, and wouldn't be so bold because, again, I wanted a very dash out the door, soft glam look. I just want to pop on that blue color just a little bit. It's like a navy blue, so it's almost like it was black. But if somebody's up in your face like, "Ooh, you have on blue, I like that." So yeah, you don't want to, when you don't want to go too many colors up top, just add some color to the bottom, and it gives a whole new look. I love this. The look is coming together where I'm very proud of myself for just getting through this. I'm taking that brush just to blend and buff out any little harsh lines that may be up there. There was no additional product on that brush. I just wanted to use what was left. You want to always try to use what's left because we're not trying to waste any product, okay? So I'm taking some highlighters, and putting it right there in the inner corner of my eye. Again, just to give me a little bit more youthful look, and so I'm not looking tired. And it's like a little sparkle. Don't mind my hair. I'm going to take it down while we're on this video. I'm very excited how it turned out, the curls. You would think I took 2 hours up on a dryer, but wait till you see it. It's so cute. Yeah, so I just took a little bit more of my translucent powder and just really set that in between my T-zone, like by my nose, because that's where I sweat the most. And now I'm going in with the, oh my gosh, I love the highlighter in this palette. So I tend to go crazy with a little highlight. I just like to, just slice. You see that sparkle? That's like that mirror highlight. And because I'm trying to just slice people, okay, with the side of my face. But yeah, look at that. Look at that definition. Look how I just really chiseled in the cheekbones a little bit. I'm just glancing over to see what do I need to change. There's a couple of things that I did change up off camera, but for sake of time, I just kept going and going directly to the lips. So right now I'm just using a pencil because my lip liner is downstairs. So I just put on a pencil, and this is a brown pencil I got right from the beauty store. Okay, they get the job done, but this one was a little dull, so I think I was needing to sharpen it up because I don't have time. This should be like a 1-2 step application. So yeah, I'm uber excited for a lot of things that's happening and that's in the process. And again, one being the Clover Creations cosmetic line, the Triple C, okay? And then I've been working on my new Give Yourself Grace inspirational line. And that can be found at clovercreationdeals.com. So it's all about giving yourself grace. Even when doing makeup, we have to give ourselves grace. So I'm using a lip liner, just a lip gloss, but it is heavily pigmented. And I went with a little bit of a bold lip since the eyes were a little bit more softer. You can, go with a little bolder. All right. So my look is done. I'm done with the look. And I literally got done with the look around at the 22-minute mark. Like, that's huge. So I decided to stay on camera just a couple of more minutes and take down my hair. So I appreciate you, GRWM. Okay, that's getting ready with me. And I use satin sponge rollers and a little bit of gel on the ends of my hair. And I use satin rollers and put a bonnet on overnight. And literally these coils just came out popping. I normally, sometimes I put my hair in my natural wet and wavy natural state. But this time I decided to blow it out. Shout out to my girl Tamika with A New You hairstylist that she cut my hair into this bob. I cut off like 4 inches. And I'm really loving it. I'm loving the hair. I tweezed it out a little bit more off camera, but I just wanted to show you all the finished look. So let me just get up close and personal, show you the chisel, okay? Show you the wing slice, all right? The mirror effect, the contour, the highlights, all right? So again, going back to what I started out as, that's me, okay? Like getting ready, and then this was the finished look. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, a quick dash out the door look with the girl Clover.